opportunity to verbally advise the court and make your requests. Do you have any requests as it relates to the jury instructions, sir? I would note he put 2 boxes right in front of where he's seated, so I can't presently see his face. I see his jacket is off because I can see the outline of his arms, and I can see the jacket on the back of his chair. He is unmuted. I've confirmed previously regarding the audio working, and I will just ask him a second time, sir, do you have any requests as it relates to the draft packet of jury instructions, whether that be any additions, corrections, edits, or deletions?
And Your Honor, would it be possible for the bailiffs to just move the boxes off the table so
Yes,
we can
I think
see?
that's fair. I'm going to advise the bailiff to remove the box so I can see Mr. Brooks. I don't know what he's doing behind there.
Here we go, right back into child mode. You feel me? Anyway, man, we back. Thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of DDM TV with your boy Big Dice. And on your way in the building, please tap that like button. Please hit that subscribe button. And if you're brand new to the channel, well, y'all already know the lingo. You know what I'm saying? But check it out, man. I want to give a salute to everybody, all the new subscribers that came through, whether you agree or disagree. I mean, and trust me, there's a lot of people that disagree with some of the stuff I'm saying, but they like my delivery, so they subscribed and like the content. Not only that, we do allow all opinions over here, and I want to state something for everybody. This is an opinion channel. This is an opinionated channel. This is where everybody can drop their opinions because none of us are these people. So please don't come to the chat and try to speak in matter of fact like you know what the judge or Erica Patterson or Darrell Brooks or the mother or anybody that's associated with any of the content that we do over here. Please don't act like you know what they're doing because you're not that person. So just speak an opinion. What's your opinion? That's what I like to hear. That's what I like to read. Man, I got people that came to my chat. Like this one guy came to the chat and he said something and I totally agreed with him. In the comment I wrote back to him, he comes back and says, I disagree. What do you disagree with? I only agreed with you. You know what I mean? So we go through all this stuff all day. And I mean, shout out to him because it was a good dialogue, but it was like he was looking for a reason to fight or a reason to disagree, and I just wouldn't give him that. So he ends it off with, oh, you're never going to make it as a YouTuber and stuff. Now, let me state this real clearly for everybody. I'm not one of these YouTubers that's out here trying to be at DJ Academics or make it real big. If my channel grows like that, fine. I'm still going to be the same person. I'm still not going to be out looking for deals or trying to sit down with DJ Academics or the likes of a Whack 100 or like I forgot the dude's name I was thinking of, but he told me I'm never gonna make it because of the way I think and the way my opinion is or whatever. Well, that's the point. I'm giving my opinion. This is my channel. This is what I do for fun. I'm not one of them guys that recommends everybody hit my Cash App or anything like that. Yes, up on the screen. That's because people ask me to do that. People ask for the Cash App so that they can support the channel. You know, and I don't get very many Cash Apps. I don't get no Cash Apps enough to eat off of. Maybe a good $20-$30 every few months. You know? So I'm not that type of person that's doing this trying to survive. I have a real job, you know? I have a CDL, everything. I actually work and take care of my family. That's why I'm not on here every day, not able to do content every day. But anyway, I'm not going to bore you guys with all that. Just please keep your comments to your opinion and not tell me what I need to do and what's going on and why the judge did this. Now, if you're saying it in opinion of why the judge is acting a certain way, I respect that. Because there's a lot of comments in there, even though I may have a difference in opinion, I still liked what they said and I still agree with what they said. Like with Judge Dorow, I don't want anybody thinking that I hate this lady because hate is a strong word, and I don't. I think she's good at her job. I just think in this particular case, there's a lot of things that she let slide and she wasn't stern on, and it bothered me. And that's just my opinion, people. That's just my opinion. You feel what I'm saying? So let's try to keep everything as opinion, and this is what you think, and this is what I think. Anyway, let's continue. Oh, and thank everybody for not making my chat one of those chats where everybody's trying to be rude to each other or anything like that. There's a lot of people in each other's comments, in my comment section, that disagree, and they're able to talk about it. You know what I'm saying? There's people that's able to explain their position, and somebody will say, I like how you broke that down. I like your opinion and stuff. I disagree, but I respect what you're saying. And I just want to say salute to all of you, because I respect how you guys are treating my chat specifically, as opposed to all the other chats you may find on YouTube. You know what I mean? So let's continue.
He has quieted down. I haven't heard him in a while.
His food and threw the boxes in his. He made a fort.
You could move the second one because it can interfere with the microphone as well. And the third. Mr. Brooks, I'm going to ask you for a third time. Do you have any requests as it relates to the jury instructions? Any requests for instructions that aren't included that you believe should be included? Any edits or deletions from the packet that has been provided to you?
Hey, why do you tell them to move my box?
Because I couldn't see you, sir.
Oh, my chat ain't coming up on the screen.
I've asked you twice now, and I'll ask you a third time. Do you have any requests as it relates to the jury instructions? Any additions, deletions, edits, or otherwise?
Hey, man, you don't got to talk to me like that.
Do you have any requests
First of all,
related
what?
to the jury instructions, sir?
Man, yeah, I got requests. It ain't like they gonna be honored though.
As it relates to the jury instructions, sir, what are your?
I heard what the hell you said, man.
Well, Mr. Brooks, that was very disrespectful.
That was very disrespectful.
And I've been getting disrespected since the beginning of this whole process. So welcome to the club.
Mr. Brooks,
you see
do
what
you
I mean?
have any requests?
I'm sorry, my right getting trampled on here too.
I'm not sure why my chat isn't showing up on the screen over here, but it's whatever. It's whatever. But at the same time, you see what I mean? And I picked this video out specifically. I picked this video out specifically just so you guys can kind of see what I mean with the way he talks to her and she lets him get away with it. And this ain't about Judge Dorow. This is about him, because he's a rude motherfucker. Like, you hear how he just spoke to her? Like, I heard what the hell you said, man. Like, that's his woman. Like, especially with him being in the other courtroom, I'd have muted his ass right there. All right, well, we ain't about to keep going through this. I'm going to go ahead and hit that mute button. But she never does. She lets him get it off. And to me, that's disrespectful to the court, disrespectful to the victims, everything. And that's just my opinion. Remember that. I'm not saying Judge Dorow's doing anything wrong. She can be doing everything right. This is just my opinion.
Any requests as it relates to the jury instructions?
Ain't nobody understand why I'm frustrated. How you gonna sit up there?
Yeah, he in another courtroom, still cutting up.
I said when I didn't get consent for you to do any such thing.
Sir, I understand you may be upset, and I really do, but I've made my determinations.
You don't understand nothing. You don't understand anything, Your Honor. You don't.
See that? You guys ever notice that when he goes to the other courtroom, that's when he turns into this other personality. Like, he's one way in the courtroom, he's defined in the courtroom, but it's a different story when he gets to this other courtroom where she can actually mute him. And when she mutes him and he's not getting the attention, he would do anything he can to get the attention. Like when he took his shirt off in the courtroom. Like, who does that? Who undresses in a courtroom? You know what I mean? It's a whole bunch of stuff that this dude you can see the personality. You can see the different personalities that goes on in this dude's brain. That's why I call him a TV baby, because it's almost like he's acting out different characters from television.
I'm going to mute him again because he's not answering the questions that I'm very clearly asking him, and I've given him 5 opportunities. Mr. Brooks, do you have any requests as it relates to the jury instructions. I'll unmute you for that answer.
I can't hear everything you're saying.
Now, peep game, didn't this nigga just say, I heard what the hell you said? Now all of a sudden he can't. Hey, if you guys aren't entertained by this court case, then something wrong with you. Because I don't even mean to laugh at certain things, because it make me feel a certain way due to the victims and the things that happened for this case to even be brought forth. But the whole court case itself, the whole 2 weeks trial, the whole thing is he's fucking hilarious. Like he irritates me, but he's hilarious because he's a goofy. This is the definition of a coward. If coward was a person, it would be Darrell Brooks. Stuck in a child mind, which means he ain't never grown up. This is a 40-year-old kid. And see, now that I'd have to take to a place of parenting. Bad parenting, allowing your only son to get away with everything, including murder. Because I listened to Dawn when she read that letter and talking about him needing help and people forgiving, and I swear, to me, I can see exactly where Darrell Brooks came from with her. You feel what I'm saying? Because I can hear Darrell Brooks in that letter. I mean, like mother, like son, I guess. But let's continue.
Mr. Brooks.
Look, he's pissed.
I know the audio's turned up. I believe you can hear me. You've chosen not to put the headphones on. That's your choice. My final question to you, do you have any requests as it relates to the jury instructions?
Her final question.
I just told you, am I muted?
No.
I just told you, I don't know how many times, I can't hear everything you're saying.
Then you should put the headphones
What about that,
on.
don't you understand? What about that, don't you understand? If you see headphones, you can see everything. You can see boxes, but then you see headphones.
Have you asked for headphones to be...
That little hair patch right there. That little hair patch sitting above the computer screen is killing me.
provided, sir?
I shouldn't have to ask for them. I asked for my boxes to be moved.
I believe they took them away previously because you were so agitated. They were perhaps afraid you might break
Yeah,
them.
I'm still agitated. I ain't gonna stop being agitated.
Now, am I wrong,
That
or
ain't gonna stop.
or does it seem like he talks to this woman like that's his woman?
And think God don't see what you're doing? You ought to be ashamed of yourself.
No, man. No, she shouldn't. You should be ashamed of yourself. And you think God don't see what you did. Oh, Judgment Day gonna be something for you. And I'm not even a big religious person, but hey, if he is to be judged, he will be judged. You understand what I'm saying? Like this dude is a clown, man. I don't even know if there's a lot more I can really say about him that I haven't already said. This is the definition of a clown. And I mean, look how he carry himself into court. And I mean, I understand he has nothing to lose. Just like I understand Judge Dorow doing what she did, because I mean, what can you, somebody said in my comments on one of my videos, like, this is what I agreed with. I get what they're saying. I still think she should have been stern, because this is live, and he's acting like this in a courtroom. It don't matter about him. It's about how you carry out the court session. Not only are you on the line, other judges are on the line. Other people will try to pull all this stuff and, you know what I mean, try to be rude up in there, and they have done this. And maybe that's what make him think that it was okay for him to do this. To be as rude as he is, to be obnoxious. I can't even say the word right now. It's early in the morning. But for real, this dude is talking to this woman like that's her, like that's his woman. So right there with her and Attorney Opper and Erica Patterson and the mother, you can definitely tell that he has a real problem with women. Always ran over his mama. You know what I mean? His mom is terrified of him. And she created this. If I'm going to keep it real, she created the monster that Darrell Brooks is today. You feel what I'm saying? Like, oh, man.
Mr. Brooks, do you have any requests as it relates to the jury instructions?
Yeah, I can hear what you're saying. I can hear what you're saying.
You just told me you didn't. So which one is
Yeah, I
it?
got the headphones on. You can't see that?
What are your requests as it relates? What are your requests as it relates to the jury instructions, sir?
Man, don't try to come with this whole little image of sir. Now it's all this sir and all this. I'm gonna get where I'm going.
Oh, you definitely will be getting where you're going.
Try to put on this little act like you so worried about what's going on with me. You don't give a damn. Never did.
Mr. Brooks, you're being disrespectful.
You see what I'm saying? You don't give a damn, never did. Like he been in a full-blown relationship with this woman. That's how he's coming. Even talking about I'm gonna get where I'm going. I forgot what movie that's on, but some of the older dudes talk like that. Like that's some shit my uncle would say. But I also heard it on a movie before. Oh, I'm gonna get where I'm going. You don't give a damn, never did. What do you mean never did? I mean, this woman don't even know you. This woman don't even know you. And that's part of the, like, oh my God. Now, Judge Dorow said, this is my last and final question. Since she said that, she's already asked him again like 5 times. That's part of the problem I had. You can't keep, when is the last chance the last chance? Like how many times through the court session did she give this man the last chance? This is the last time, this is the last chance, this is the last time I'm gonna ask you. She done that a few times. And once again, this ain't about her, but I'm just saying, peep how lenient she is on him when I think she should have been stern.
Again.
Because it's disrespectful.
You've been being disrespectful.
I need to know what your position is regarding the jury instructions. And I need to know it now.
What you mean?
She irritated. That I'll give her.
I'm
She's
talking to you.
irritated.
I need to know whether you have any requests as it relates to the jury instructions, sir.
Yeah, first of all, why am I charged with 2 bail jumpings when I was already charged in Milwaukee for the same bail jumping? That's double jeopardy.
That's not double jeopardy. Your objection is noted. It's overruled.
It is double jeopardy. How you gonna charge me with the same charge that I'm already charged with?
Because you haven't been convicted of it. You can't be, look, you can't be convicted twice. You could be charged twice. 2 different counties. And mind you, his bail is revoked because he was on bail and committed another felony. So that's why it's on the docket for Waukesha, because the place that he violated his bail. If he got one in Milwaukee and he violates out here in Waukesha, it's definitely going to show up as a charge. But that charge is actually different. That's your bail being revoked. Bail jumping and bail being revoked is 2 different things, because now he's locked up again. So his bail is revoked. Whatever money, whatever, anything that's in there, if they was going to get any money back, if they paid through the court or anything, that's gone. That's a wrap. Because you committed a new felony. You got new charges. So even though you're being charged with the same charge in Waukesha and Milwaukee for bail jumping, it's going to end up going with the Waukesha case because your bail is now being revoked. Now, they can't charge you with 2 separate charges with the same bail jumping charge off the same bail. So since it's being revoked, they will shift it over to Waukesha with these charges right here.
The amendment says, the 5th Amendment says that you can't place somebody in jeopardy of life and limb twice. I'm already charged with the same count in Milwaukee. For the same case.
Yeah, Mike, that was not, he was trying to delay it, but they continued on. They got
Sir, I'm not going to provide a legal explanation other than to say I've reviewed that. Your objection is noted, but the jury will be instructed regarding the bail jumping.
It can't be because that's double jeopardy.
Yeah,
Under the law, if
look.
two
I
charges are
definitely get that she took a lot of stuff. You know what I'm saying, so that he wouldn't really have no grounds to win an appeal or anything like that. But she didn't have to be as lenient as she was on him. She could have just made sure her T's were crossed and her I's were dotted. As long as everything's on the up and up as far as her part, then the charge is gonna stick. There's no mishaps in the case, because for people that don't know, when he goes to appeal, he don't get to try the charges again. All that is to see if there was any mistakes as far as litigation. Anything that's in the case that they can throw the case out because he's appealing something like maybe something she did that was against the law for a judge to do, or anything like that, or the DA they had false evidence or anything like that. But as far as him going on rants and doing all that type of stuff, she could have shut that down. Any other judge would have shut that shit down. That's my point. And like I said, she didn't do anything wrong. My opinion is she shouldn't have let that happen. And another one of my opinions is I really believe they should have had a male judge on here. It'd have been a whole different story. Because he tried to run the room on this woman. And in many ways, I feel bad for her having to deal with this dude. I wish I was his celly or something, because I'd beat the shit out of him.
in nature, you cannot place me in jeopardy of life and limb twice. You can't do that.
What's your next?
The same case number.
What's your next request, sir? I'm noting your objection.
I'm trying to talk. Can I get it out?
And look, let me let y'all know, I understand what you guys are saying Judge Dorow is doing as far as being patient and all that type of stuff. But the patience that she gives him and the leeway that she's giving him only filled him even more to where he thought he had the upper hand, to where he thought he had an advantage over her. So yeah, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that simply because of the victims that were in these court sessions, sitting in the on the whatever, the benches, the bleachers, whatever. I'm not talking about the jury. I'm talking about the victims' families and stuff that had to sit there and put up with this stuff. Just like when he say stuff like, I'm happy to say my conscience is clear. Like, man, I want to smack him. Why would you say something like that? Although he said it on purpose. He nitpicked at everybody in there on purpose. So if he ain't got nothing to lose, because regardless, he's getting a life sentence. Now it's just a matter of how much life sentences he's going to get and how much more you're going to give him on top of that. Regardless, the law states that the minimum charge is life. There's nothing he can do about that. So with everybody in the courtroom knowing that, he ain't got nothing to lose. That's why you shut him down. That's why you don't let him parade around the courtroom. That's why, knowing it's on national television, he's even mentioned that, you don't let this fool have center stage to do what he want and have his day in the sun. That's how I feel. And maybe that's just me as a man. Maybe that's just my opinion as a man. But I don't feel like they should have gave him center stage to do all this. I think they should have shut him down. Now, I'm happy that he's in this other courtroom doing all this, but even then, she didn't mute him like she said she's gonna do or nothing like that. And she should have muted his ass. So yeah, I have a difference in opinion than most people about that. But yet again, she ain't wrong. She ain't wrong. This is just my opinion of what I think should happen. Now, through the court session, being that it was legal for him to be in the opposite courtroom, as long as he had a microphone and he had headphones where he can hear everything that was going on, I think that's where they should have kept him. You want to pull your antics? Boop, there go the mute button. Simple as that. But Judge Darrell, she kept bringing him back over, I guess to be fair or whatever, which I get. But he proved time and time again that he cannot handle that. He proved time and time again that he needed to be in the other courtroom through the whole case. I also think they should have shut him down as far as letting him represent himself. I think they should have shut that shit down. Now, I mean, it's his right to represent himself, but I don't got my paperwork here, but there's like two reasons why people couldn't, like they be incompetent or they're outlandish. You know what I mean? Like their behavior can warrant them not to let him represent himself. So I think it should have been shut down right there. I'm not going to say they're wrong for letting him represent himself. Once again, that is his right to do so. But everybody should have known what they was getting into when he started claiming sovereign citizen.
You want me to not interrupt you, but you always find a way to talk over me.
I understand your position. I'm saying it's overruled.
You always want respect, but don't want to give it.
Appreciate you, Ty.
I'm charged with the same bail jumping charge here that I've already been charged with. That is double jeopardy. You can't charge me for the same exact bail jumping that I'm already charged with, that I was charged with before this even came about.
Sir, the bail jumping charges in Waukesha County are based upon your violating your bail while in Waukesha County by driving through the Christmas parade and allegedly killing 6 people and injuring 61 others.
Okay.
43 of those being children. Mind you, 43 of those being children. Now, what did I just say? Your bail is revoked because you caught new charges. So they can charge you all day for the same bail on the same case with the same docket number because it's being revoked. Now it'd be different if they were charging you with no, it wouldn't be different because how can they charge you like he's saying they can't charge you with the same thing, but they're not. Nigga, you don't have. I mean. Nigga, the bail that's on there with the same docket number is the same exact bail that not only did you jump, but now you done went and caught new charges. So now the second bail jumping charge is not bail jumping, it's bail revocation. Your bail is being revoked because you caught new charges. Like, this is a delay tactic. I'm sure he's not that stupid that he doesn't understand that. You understand what I'm saying? So he's definitely trying to delay, and that's another reason why I would have muted his black ass.
That's the distinction.
You don't want to answer? You don't want to answer? You forfeiting your right to answer then, right?
There is no distinction. It's the same charge.
It's the same offense. It doesn't mean it's the same factual basis, sir.
He is not charged with bail jumping with the data violation of November 21 in Milwaukee County anywhere. Further, the double jeopardy prohibition would prevent him from being convicted twice, not charged twice.
Y'all gotta excuse me too, man. My mind's all over the place. I was out at work or whatever, and I came home and decided to get one in before I go to bed. So I am a little tired. So excuse me if I'm jumbling my words and stuff like that.
So we've addressed that, sir. What other requests do you have as it relates to the jury instructions?
I want to know why I'm even charged twice with the same thing. You can't charge me in pursuant to a case in Milwaukee that I'm already charged with bail jumping for. I'm already charged with bail jumping for that already. So you can't essentially say, oh, well,
definitely, Mike.
Because you were already on bail.
It's definitely a delay tactic.
It's a different data violation, sir. The conduct for the bail jumping is related to the allegation that you committed a new crime in Waukesha County while out on bond from the Milwaukee County case.
Yeah, but I'm referring to the first bail jumping count. The first. I'm not referring to both of them. I'm referring to one of them.
My understanding, sir, is there's different dates of violations as it relates to that. So I've noted your objection now repeatedly. I understand it. Your request to, I guess, dismiss the bail jumping counts are denied.
I didn't say nothing about counts. I said one.
Whether it's one count or both, it's denied.
am I not being understood? You can't charge me with the same charge twice. You can't.
It's two separate.
This fool got nerve to say, is he not being understood? Are they not being understood? Because they keep telling you the same thing over and over and over, and you want to delay everything, acting like you don't understand where they're coming from, like you don't understand what they're saying. When this fool has proved time and time again that he definitely understands everything going on in the courtroom.
Cases, sir. There's two.
Is it that 971.23? Is it that the statute that refers to the double?
All right, sir. I'm not going to have an argument. This isn't fruitful. I understand what you're saying. You're saying there shouldn't be 2 counts of bail jumping. You believe it's double jeopardy. I disagree with that. There's separate.
I'm already charged with it, though.
This is a circular argument, sir. It doesn't change the fact that, from my perspective, the 2 bail jumping counts are going to proceed forward. There's been sufficient evidence presented to warrant the jury being instructed.
They can't.
What other requests do you have,
You're not
sir?
gonna talk over me. Don't talk over me. Just like you don't want me to talk over you.
Mute.
Just like you don't want me to talk over
Mute.
Just like you don't want
Mr.
me
Brooks,
to
what
disrespect you.
other
Because
requests
everything
do
I say-
you have?
And I just asked you not to talk over me.
Somebody tell me this. What is axe? Ain't that something you chop down trees with and shit? Ain't that a body spray and shit? I just ask you. Ask. Come on, man. Sound out your syllables. You can tell this fool don't necessarily have an education. I think he said did he graduate or did he not graduate? I think he made it to the 11th grade or something. But that doesn't mean nothing. Because, they push kids forward, whatever. But this fool definitely didn't pay attention in school. Like somebody in my comments had wrote down a list of all the words he said wrong. That shit was crazy. But what the hell is axe? I just axe you. Nigga, you threatening her? That nigga gonna axe Judge
The
Dorow.
whole time you've been over there, you had me muted. I didn't see no requests over there.
I forgot all about. Hey, Jay Jones, I forgot all about that. When he was questioning the witnesses, and he was like, "Oh, I think I was clear," even though the way he was asking questions was even I was like, "What the fuck he just say?" Like, how do you answer that? I think it was the same girl that he was talking about. He was talking about. You're remembering what you want to remember, and he did that little side motion shit. Like, this dude is animated as fuck.
No matter how egregious.
Look at the finger. You see how long he had the finger out there? Watch. Let me go back.
I just asked you not to talk over me. You've been making your record the whole time you've been over there. You had me muted. I didn't see no requests over there. I didn't write nothing to go over there. I let you do what you was doing. No matter how
Look how long he got the finger.
I let you do what you was doing.
This dude, bro.
Because we both know that what you're doing is not right.
Mr. Brooks, I'm going to refocus your attention to the jury instructions. All of your objections are noted. I understand that. If you can't answer my question, I'm going to move on.
And see, she should have moved on.
All right, I'm going to mute him once again. He refuses to answer simple questions regarding if he has any requests. He just made an argument regarding the bail jumping, so clearly he has an understanding about the law as it relates to that. It may be a misunderstanding about the law.
While he trying to talk, I'd have kept muting him, unmuting him, and all that shit. That should have pissed his ass off.
And double jeopardy, but he made an argument. I've denied it. I'd like to know if he has any other requests. If he can stay on topic, I'll I will unmute him again, and he can tell me the list, just like the state went through a list. I need to get through their
Yeah,
list.
Mike, that shit was
I'm asking
irritating.
you to list out all your
Lady
requests,
Blue, what's
and then
up?
I will take each one up in turn. So here is your opportunity to give me your other requests, not debate with me about prior rulings.
Lady Blue in the building.
Go
Lady
ahead,
Blue been
Mr.
with-
Brooks.
Lady Blue been with me for years.
Opportunity. Don't sit up here and try to play no game talking about you giving somebody an opportunity that you haven't gave me an opportunity to properly defend myself and put evidence, put stuff into evidence, which I've asked you repeatedly to do before we even got to the trial. You told me we wasn't in the evidentiary phase.
Look, he ain't gonna
Mr.
talk
Brooks,
that.
do you have any?
He ain't gonna talk that shit in prison. He ain't gonna talk that shit in prison. Not to the COs or nothing. He might get lippy a little bit, but he know if he get a little too lippy, they gonna push that button, and then the goon squad gonna come up in there with the shields and shit, and them shields. Now he talk about shock devices. Now them shields got them little taser lines on it and shit. They hit your ass with that, it's a wrap. You know what I mean? And they will go in there on him, because when he's in prison now in the courtroom, they can't really do nothing. The bailiffs kind of gotta go by the judge's orders. Like, you notice, none of the bailiffs snatched him up or nothing. They don't really do that in court unless they have to. But in prison, oh, you now belong to the state. You now belong to that prison. And I know a lot of people probably haven't been to prison, but the way prison work, you will get your ass beat. And you can file all the charges you want. It ain't gonna go nowhere. You still gonna be stuck up in that prison, and you run your lip again, they're gonna beat your ass. That's just how it go. That's just how it go. And let me let y'all know this. For people, for regular civilians that never been to prison or anything like that, and for people that have been to prison, there's certain things that prison guards, prison inmates, and civilians all dislike together. And that would be people that harm children, people that molest children, people that do egregious shit like this. Like don't think any mass shooter is getting special treatment in there like he's a gangster. Oh no, you thought you was bad, come up in here where we get to you. Because they don't agree with that shit. Because one thing about prison, well, real convicts, everything is about respect. And they can't respect that. They can't respect nothing this dude did. So trust and believe he's not having a good time in prison. And I know he's on 23-1, 23-hour lockdowns, because if they allow him to go to the line, to the prison yard, and be in population, for those that don't understand what the line is, if they allow him to be in population, they're going to kill this boy. Simply because he's a trophy. Somebody going to take that trophy. Trust and believe me.
Other requests as it relates to the jury instructions. This is probably the 10th or so time I've asked you this question.
No, it's not. No, it's not. So please stop being incorrect, Your Honor. Please stop.
Do you have any additional requests as it relates to the jury instructions?
No, Ty, he's not
Yeah.
going. He's not going to general population probably ever. He can go. Even if he go to a PC yard, they gonna get him. Because even the people who are in the PC yard don't respect it. They don't like it. And like I said, trophies that come up in prison, if there's a trophy to be had, somebody in prison gonna get that trophy. Trust and believe. So just put it like this. If anybody want to see him harmed, let him go to general population, and forget general population for a minute. He's not having a good time with the prison guards. The prison guards don't respect this dude. You understand what I'm saying? So they're gonna treat him bad. And if I'm not mistaken, I heard I heard he made a complaint or something. Somebody put it in my comments that he made a complaint about people putting stuff in his food. Now, mind you, it's the inmates that control the food, and it's the inmates that send the food out. So the inmates know exactly where he's at and which tray will be given to him. And there's gonna be another inmate that takes the food around, because the prison guards they don't really like to do that. They have trustees and stuff that do that. They will do it, but even a prison guard will hand them that tray that an inmate messed with, because they on the same page with this dude. So, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he don't make it that long in there. because they probably grinding up glass real fine. Like prison got ways to get you. They'll grind up your food, grind up glass in your food that you can't even detect, just little shards. Now you understand the little debris from grinded up glass that's grinded up real fine. You eating that stuff, you won't necessarily know that you're eating glass, but your insides will be getting sliced up from them little itty bitty little shards. Over time, it'll kill him.
That first count 74 bill jumping needs to be dismissed. Can't charge me with 2 days.
504, what's
You
up?
can't charge me with the same charge twice.
All right, I've made a note of that.
Shit, French wee
What's
wee,
the
what's
next
happening?
issue?
Either one county gonna charge me with it or y'all, but it can't be
Few
both.
of my day ones in here.
It's the same, it's pursuant to the same exact thing that I was on bill for. The same exact thing, the same exact case. So why are we giving the jury instructions on 2 cases from another county?
I've made a note of that. What other requests do you have?
Man, this is ridiculous. So I'm not even able to adequately.
See, I just feel like she shouldn't have gave him this many chances after she already said about 10 minutes ago, this is the final time I'm going to ask you. So he's obviously going to keep trying to delay. That's when you mute that nigga and continue on. He ain't got to give consent or nothing. He's refusing to answer the question. So therefore, he defaults on the question. Now you just move along. You know what I mean? You take that as what did she say? I don't know, I forgot.
Because everything I say is going to be found a reason for it not to be valid. What are we doing here, Your Honor? What is the
Mr. Brooks.
Here for? Why should I be here when
I've made a note of your request as to count 74. Do you have any other requests as it relates to the jury instructions?
Why are we even having jury instructions? Why do I have to even sit here in this courtroom at this point? Because everything you've been doing without my consent anyway. So you're gonna find a way to do this without my consent. So why do I need to be here for?
Your objection for lack of consent
look,
is noted for the record.
She doesn't necessarily need his
Okay,
consent for anything.
Any other requests,
You
sir?
talk a good game. You talk a good game to save yourself enough space. But everything I put up, it has no merit in your court. None.
All right, I've asked him many times. I've
Yes,
advised
you
him,
did.
and I'll advise him once again. If he fails to answer the question, I'm moving on. Do you have any other requests as it relates to the jury instructions, sir?
You can't move on because I haven't given you consent to it.
All right, he did not answer. So I'm muting him again. The only request that he has made as it relates to the jury instructions, as he pounded his fist once again, raised his voice. I understand, I really do, that he's upset with my decision to cut off his ability to present a defense, but that decision was made based on his conduct and his conduct alone, as I've outlined already on the record. So the only request that he made was as it relates to the bail jumping counts. I'm denying those requests, whether it be to dismiss one count or to dismiss both on double jeopardy, or to just not instruct the jury. However way I interpret it, I'm denying that. All right, let me go through the state's.
Your Honor, can I ask?
Look, see?
Sure.
I'm sorry.
Hey, French, I was telling the new subscribers in one of my last lives, I was like, truth be told, I've always been late night. And some of the people in the chat can let y'all know that all the years I've been doing this, I've always been late night.
54 summary of
So
evidence.
you want to catch my live, it's
I
usually
believe
late
we
night.
had a map, actually 2 maps that summarize the, we had 3 maps. I think the one was
Oh, French, you ain't watched the
summarize-
Darrell Brooks case? Oh, you need to go watch that whole case. Trust me, it does not lack entertainment. I'll tell you that.
his route, the path that he took. The other one summarized the victims who were struck in the specific locations. And the other one summarized the positions of the law enforcement officers at the various intersections and throughout the parade route.
Yeah, I said that, Mike, about the
I'll make
Supreme
a note of
Court
that. We
thing,
also-
and a lot of people got in my chat and was pissed off about that because I said that. So a lot of people got in there and was like, "That's not why she lost the Supreme Court." But I mean, a lot of people in Waukesha say that they couldn't vote for it because of the leniency due to this case. Sorry to say, but you
I don't
know.
believe I saw the jury view instruction either. I mean, that was given to them at the
And
time.
they
I
said
don't know
because of her stance on the LBGT or something, but I don't know.
that it needs to be reread, but I think we need to consider that as well. And that was my version of 152. All right, so let me go through the list from the state. Turning to page
Okay,
61.
so check it out. Let me pause it real quick. So check it out. One thing somebody did hit me with, and I wasn't even thinking about when I was making my remarks about Judge Dorow, was all the racial tension that's going on up that way, with everything from George Floyd and everything. So I low key get it. I still think as a judge, you take a certain stance, and you need to stand on that stance, and you need to control your courtroom because you're the judge. You're the head in there. Don't let any defendant, even if it was me, don't let any defendant come in there and disrespect your seat. You understand what I'm saying? So to a lot of people, it looks like he was intimidating her. Like, especially when she said, "I'm scared." That just fueled him. Oh, I got her. Oh, you scared? Okay. Because he even made the remark, what's wrong? Were they scared of it? You know what I'm saying? Like, the nigga's on trial still thinking he a gangster, while trying to play as his own lawyer. So he come in, legal representation for my client, but yet he keeps being himself. Mr. Darrell Brooks, or the stick figure, because he doesn't identify as that name. Hell, shit. Hey, it is what it is. I identify, like my boys say, as a multimillionaire, but that don't make it true.
So I've considered the request by the state. I am going to rely on what information they put in the charging document. I'm going to deny the request to include the specific case numbers. There's evidence, of course, that was received regarding the two separate
Look, there you go,
cases
building
out
this
of
fort
Milwaukee
again.
County that form the basis for both of the bail jumping counts. It will be up to the jury to review the evidence and make a determination. As to the verdict forms, though, that were referenced previously, at least the description of them in the jury instructions, that obviously the third count of bail jumping is incorrect. That needs to be battery, and that change will be made. I'm also having Madam Clerk include all of the numbers for the jury instructions when they go back, so it's very clear. Some of them did not
Aggravated
have them
battery.
on, just frankly from prior cases that she and I have worked on, but in this case I want to be very clear with all of the numbers. So I think I've addressed the first two bullet points. As far as the motive instruction as a standalone, I believe that is appropriate, and I'll instruct Madam Clerk to include that. As far as where it goes, I'm going to just, any instructions that we add should just be in the numerical order, unless there's a other request that's made. Then the state also made a request as it relates to jury instruction 70, which is found on page 65.
Look, there you go with the fort again.
So as it relates to this, the state is asking that I simply
That's his little fort. What's that shit from the Little Rascals? The He-Man no woman's He-Man club or some shit. Fort Brooks.
instruct the jury based on the pattern instruction and not include that second paragraph. I had previously advised the jury with another paragraph that I was contemplating including, even if I took out that big paragraph that just said, "At times, Mr. Brooks has appeared from another courtroom. This
He was
must
definitely
not
false
influence your
flagging.
verdict in any manner."
With all that
What's the
blood
state's
gang stuff, he was
position
false
on
flagging.
including that, but taking
That nigga ain't no
out
blood.
the
He ain't
paragraph
from-
you
he ain't
request
from
to
no
be taken
gang.
out.
It's fine.
Mr. Brooks, do you have any position on that? Which is, so jury instruction 70 has to do with the defendant proceeding pro se. The pattern instruction would be basically the first paragraph. It's I need the bailiffs to move the boxes away from his face. I need to be able to see
Well,
him.
that's
He can
gonna
keep them on
piss him off again. She keeps saying the defendant is pro se, and he keeps saying he pro per.
the table, but they need to be moved off to the side. And if he does it one more time, then I will instruct the bailiffs to take the boxes away. Those are trial prep materials. If there's something in those materials related to jury instructions, he should take those out now.
Which there's
Otherwise,
nothing.
they need to be
Nothing
moved
in
away
them
from
boxes. Like he said, there's so much information in here, he don't even have time to go through it all, which means he ain't even pulling from that box. You know what I mean? He ain't even pulling from that box. He asking basic questions. Nothing in the trial did he do from what the lawyers gave him. But what he did do was let the lawyers get all that shit together and take care of all that, and at the last minute fired the lawyers and decided to represent himself. Now, what you do pay attention to, you can barely see it in front of the bailiff, but that red folder, that's the folder he's been in. That's the sovereign citizen folder. That's where he's coming with all this stuff from. Talking about what's supposed to be done in the courtroom and what's not allowed to be done in the courtroom, which he doesn't even know. He's just going based off of the paperwork he got from his mother, his best friend, whatever. You understand what I'm saying? Like, that shit has no merit in the judicial system.
microphones and away from blocking his face.
I'm not putting them there. I'm not putting them there so she can't see me. I'm putting them there for a reason. I don't have nothing to do with her being able to see.
Mr. Brooks, do you have any position on the verbiage of jury instruction
Don't ask me-
70
don't
on
ask me
page
no question.
65?
Don't ask me no question. Are you my accuser? Are you my accuser, Your Honor?
All right, he's choosing not to answer, so I'll mute him again. It's unfortunate that he's deciding not to participate in this. I agree with the state. I don't need to highlight with that second paragraph.
That's the word I was looking for. He forfeits his right. And he keeps forfeiting his right. But, I mean, Judge Darrell keep giving him chances. And, I mean, salute to her for that, for being able to be so patient. Because I would not have been able to do that. So, in that fact, I would say she's hella strong for that. But you still gave him way too many chances. You can't keep saying this is the final time and this is the last time and then still keep giving them more time. Like, I heard so many last times and final times, I don't know. I'm like, man, no wonder dude thought he can just take full advantage of it because of the leeway she gave him. He thought he had her, and even at times he thought, like, I don't know what he thought. He thought he had her on his side or something, because he definitely thought he was going to get through this. But he didn't interrupt one time, and he was just like a little ass kid in a candy store. You see, I didn't interrupt you that time. And had that old crazy ass smile on his face.
I will take that out, but I will.
With them badass teeth because he's an ex-meth head. Him and I know people don't like me talking about Erica Patterson, but I've done some research, and Erica Patterson ain't necessarily who the angel people think she is. Because even her friend Corey allowed Erica to live with them for a brief minute. Them two ended up getting in fights. So if you guys go look up Corey Runkle's YouTube channel, she break down the fight. She break down why she had to kick Erica out and everything, and Erica still running around getting in relationships with the same type of men. A whole bunch of people sent her money, and I think Corey got hurt with that, because Corey was even saying, I almost took my life and due to the Darrell Brooks situation, when honestly she wasn't even that much a part of it. She went to the trial and she was part of that little situation. But Erica Patterson been with this nigga for 16 years, and grooming, I'll say yeah. But street life, I would say both of them are part of that, as well as the mother enabling him. You know what I mean? So when I say the situation with Erica Patterson and Darrell Brooks, if that would have never happened, this never happens. That's not me blaming Erica for that. Because people still getting in the comments saying, oh, you're still blaming Erica Patterson for them people. No, I'm not. But had that situation not happened, being that they had a restraining order in place and she shouldn't have met up with him, especially when she's at a woman's shelter where you're not even supposed to have any contact with your abuser, yet you went around him 2 days in a row, and if the first day he ran you over and beat you up, why go back around him the next day? I don't understand that. Somebody said you're still blaming her when really it's his mother for giving him $10 and letting him use the car. Well, he wouldn't. Where would he be going with the car? Do you think he still would have ran over them people having the car and $10 had he not met up with Erica? Because he wouldn't have no reason to be in Waukesha. Now, him running over the victims, injuring the victims and killing the victims, that is all his fault. Not Erica's fault, not his mother's fault. Now, the situation that caused innocent people to be ran down that didn't know anything about their situation or their 16 years of a relationship. That situation, I blame both of them. Y'all both know you had a restraining order, especially Erica Patterson, knowing who this dude is. Now, when you do your research, you find out that, man, these two people were out there. They was meth heads. They was out there doing drugs. That's why both of them teeth messed up and all that. And not to clown Erica Patterson, but people got at me talking about, oh, she's doing her thing with her CNA certificate and all that type of stuff. It's a CNA certificate. That don't mean she's working. That's not what that means. So if y'all get time, go look up Corey Runkle. That's with a K. Corey Runkle. Go look up her channel and just listen to her explain everything that's been going on. Everything that went on with them two. So she kicked her out, and they're no longer friends, supposedly, or allegedly. They're no longer friends. She kicked her out because they got into a fist fight. And she said that she just couldn't put up with Erica's shit anymore, that Erica's a manipulating person. Erica's running around. She's still getting drunk. All that money that people sent for her to get her life together. This is why they sent her the money, for her to get her life together, for her to move from Wisconsin, which she never did, for her to get back in her children's life, which she never did. They went and partied with that money. And then they get on social media and start asking, even Corey did, and start having reasons why people should donate to them still. Like totally playing on the attention to this case. That's why it tripped me out when Corey Runkle's like, I almost committed suicide due to all the stuff that we went through with the Darrell Brooks case. And I don't necessarily see her going through too much, because when the situation first happened with them at the park, that was Corey Runkle's first time ever seeing him, ever meeting him. You know what I'm saying? And the following day, the nigga was arrested. Which somebody stated in my comments that they think that he was jealous, thinking that was, you know what I mean, that the guy that was with him was actually with Erica, and they was running game on him, which I can see that. And if he thought that, then here you go. Look where he's at now. Enraged, losing his fucking mind, and go run over all these people. But before y'all come and try to just, you know what I mean, in the comments telling me how much of an angel Erica Patterson was, y'all got to understand. I grew up around people like Erica Patterson. I grew up around people like Darrell Brooks. I also grew up around people like Dawn, the mother. I've seen this time and time again in my life. And I understand we're at a court case where there's a definite monster in this situation that did an egregious act. Mowed down innocent people that had nothing to do with their dysfunctional life. So excuse me if I don't give her angel wings and stuff like that as necessarily just some victim that didn't partake in a lot of stuff through the years that they were both doing, because she did just come up to Wisconsin from down in Atlanta, and this wasn't 16 years ago. This was at the end of their time that she came up there, and he was still the same person. But why keep going back to him? Now, I understand people can have people manipulated, Stockholm Syndrome and all that type of stuff, but you got to try harder than that. Then you go off and live with your friend Corey, and you're manipulating her. She swung on Corey first, and you're living in the woman's house. Your so-called friend. So Corey Runkle had to get rid of her and let it be known to everybody, like, hey, I couldn't deal with her shit. I couldn't deal with her manipulating shit. Sorry to say, but that's just what it is.
Include in the paragraph that reads, "At times, comma, Mr. Brooks has appeared from another courtroom, period. This must not influence your verdict in any manner."
Yeah, I saw some of it, 504. And shout out to Auntie Miracle B, man. Even if we not saying the same thing and stuff, Auntie Miracle B, that's like family as far as YouTube. You know what I'm saying? We go back years, same sector and all that. So
Inclusion
y'all always make
of
sure y'all support her.
the instructions that were put on the last couple of pages.
Look, I don't care what Auntie Miracle B say. I won't have nobody coming down on Auntie Miracle B over here. That's family. And that's a fact. Period.
Include 325 impeachment of witness. Its prior conviction, the part about juvenile adjudication should be struck from the
Exactly,
heading. And it should read, evidence has been received that one or more
Fedrizio.
witness in this trial has been convicted of a crime. There were 2 witnesses that was applicable to. The remainder will be as is.
Exactly. Harsh times. She's starting
That
to
was
show
one witness
everybody
for the
that
state,
she's not
one witness for
necessarily
the
a good
defense.
person either.
I
Not
just
to
will
take
add that
not
if
not
Mr.
to
Brooks
take
has any
anything away
position-
from not to take anything away from Darrell Brooks. Not to take anything away from what he did. But it's crazy how we get in these situations and the person that we see as the bad guy is the bad guy and everybody else is innocent. That's not a fact.
about these requests, he should, he is currently muted. He
She
can,
should not have met up with him.
raise his hand and I'll unmute. Otherwise, he can pass a note to the bailiff or simply tell the bailiff, who can then tell me and I can unmute him. But unless he tells me that, I'm going to assume he's made a decision not to provide further comment based upon the last statement he made to me. Then 141, I believe that's appropriate given the evidence that has been received. That's on identification of defendant is in issue.
That's a fact, Mike.
I
That's
will
a
instruct
fact.
the jury accordingly unless there's a request from Mr. Brooks to take that out. Is there a request from you, sir, to take 141 out? I'll unmute for that purpose. It's found on page 106 because it's at the end of the instructions.
Yeah, she was a
This is
she
the
was a
instruction on
teenager, not necessarily a
identification of
child,
defendant
a young
where
adult.
it's at issue in a case. I believe it's appropriate given the testimony in this case. Do you have any position on that, sir? You are unmuted, so you can simply answer yes or no. No response. Then 172, circumstantial evidence, flight, concealment.
Yeah,
I believe
yeah,
it's
yeah.
appropriate given the evidence.
I give you that. I'll give you that point right there where he thought he was going to lose the case was that rap video. Once that rap video showed, he knew it was a rap. He knew it was a rap. You know what I'm saying? Especially showing how evil you was in that video. Then showing that you could possibly be a gang member. And you know, people that don't know that he ain't no real gang member. He's perpetrating, but it didn't matter. It's what everybody's seen. That just added on to it. Like, oh, this is just a fucked up evil person, period. You know what I mean? And then when you listen to the lyrics, oh man, you sound like a black racist dude.
That has been received during this case. Yes, sir?
Am I unmuted?
You have been.
Am I unmuted?
You are.
So how long before you mute? As soon as I say something?
Depends on what you say, how you say it, and if it's responsive to what we're doing.
Why do I have to be responsive to what you guys are doing? Nothing I say even matters at this point. So what's the point of me being responsive? You can't make decisions for me.
It really
Mr.
doesn't
Brooks,
matter.
I'm going to mute you.
You ain't saying nothing.
Unless you can participate in what we're doing, which is discussing the jury instructions.
I'm gonna tell the jury the truth. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna tell them what hasn't been told to me. I haven't been able to.
Mr. Brooks, I'm going to mute you because we're trying to discuss the jury instructions, not what you're going to say during your closing argument. I will get to that later. In terms of instruction 172, I'll instruct Madam Clerk to take out of the heading the word
I hate that the
escape.
comments ain't popping up.
Should just say flight
What's up,
concealment.
Vicky? Yeah, sure. Hey, the Ford was in there, and look, now I see them Ford Escapes everywhere, especially in that color. I see them all over the place in
And
the
then
city
I've
now.
reviewed 154. I believe that's appropriate. I'm gonna pull it up just as a draft. I'm not sure if there's anything that needs to be.
Facts, Mike. He knew all along.
So the pattern instruction talks about a chart. Is there any request from the state as to just keep that or modify that in any way based upon the evidence that was presented?
Here you go. Here you go
Because
to the
you
red
actually
folder.
submitted maps and things
The
were
sovereign
received.
citizen
I
folder,
don't
there
know
you
that
go.
summary.
I think that there was a summary of the victims and the associated counts. I believe that that was exhibit 141.
But that was received, wasn't it?
And there were
He
some
always
charts
cycling
of
papers like
the,
he handling business when he ain't reading nothing or
dance
nothing.
team.
He just trying to look like he doing something. I'm surprised this nigga didn't get up. I'm surprised this nigga didn't get up and say you can't handle the truth.
And dancing
Right.
grannies.
Do you have the exhibit list, Madam Clerk? What are those numbers again? I wrote 141.
We're just looking for the extreme dance and dancing granny charts.
Grannies is 54.
54 would be the dancing grannies,
Okay.
And 33 is extreme.
and 33 is the extreme dance team.
So 54, 141, and 33.
Yes.
Do you think the use of the word chart is correct, or should that be?
I would say diagram and maps. The court has allowed the use of diagrams and maps to organize the evidence.
The maps were evidence, though. What this instruction says is the court has allowed the use of a chart to organize the evidence and to assist you in understanding it. The chart itself is not evidence. It is a summary of some of the evidence that was permitted or presented. However, it is the evidence that controls. You should rely on the chart only to the extent that you believe it accurately and properly summarizes the evidence.
Then we think 154 should not be given.
Y'all see how
That's what I
much
was
of a
wondering.
toll,
Because they were all
like
admitted.
if you seen Attorney Opper from the beginning and how she looked then, and then how she looked at the end of the trial. Oh, that's this trial took a toll on her. She looked exhausted.
They were all admitted based upon how they were presented and the
I apologize.
testimony regarding them. Typically, where that comes in is for use in openings and closings solely that are based upon evidence, and we
Especially,
anticipate those
he
things
can't
coming
escape-
in, not when
he can't
there's been
escape
an
car
actual
references
document
at all.
that's been
Not the
admitted.
prison he's in, not the shit
So I
he
don't
was
think
saying.
154 is needed,
anything.
and I'll deny that request. What about 152 regarding the view?
Your Honor, as I read that, that was given prior to the view, and I think that was appropriately given at that time. I don't believe it goes into the closing or the final instructions. would
That
be
was
my position.
my inclination, but I wanted to get the party's position on that. I'll once again unmute Mr. Brooks and just ask him if he has any position regarding any of these last issues that we've discussed with, as it relates to the jury instructions. Anything from you, sir, on the jury instructions?
You know what? 504, that's a fact. And the reference to Velvet that she make is because we used to report on a cult called Carbonation over here, and I can agree with that as far as her still, Erica still displaying the ways that she was taught through the 16 years of dealing with this man. Because I mean, even my wife herself, she tends to somewhat act like me, And you know what I mean? And I somewhat act like her, use words that she used words that I use. And even after we split up, it'll take years for her to stop being like me. Stop using the words that I use and the actions that I display. Because that's what happened when people are so wrapped up in each other for so many years. Especially a woman towards a man. You get what I'm saying? So Velvet was like that in Carbonation with this guy named Nature Boy, who was a cult leader, who's also locked up right now for rape of one of his wives, so to speak. And the one that he had kids with, his baby mama, I mean, even though he's been gone and she's been out of his life basically for years, she still display his traits. So I get that.
He's not responding to the question.
I'm waiting for that 504. I'm waiting to see that.
I believe that covers all of the issues that were raised by the parties then. You are. I'll give you one final opportunity to tell me if you have any requests as it relates to the jury instructions, sir.
What you mean you giving me one final thing? I didn't consent to nothing that y'all been talking about. And I say y'all because I haven't been participating in none of that.
I understand, sir, your objection is
Because
noted.
you keep forfeiting your right
Your lack
to
of consent is
participate.
noted.
If you're going to participate. But don't sit there and go into your little rants and act like a little spoiled ass brat and then get mad when they're not including you. They have to do things in a timely fashion. Just like you said when I need attorneys not to help me, but standby attorneys so that I can get things taken care of in a timely fashion. Well, court has to be done in a timely fashion as well. Because I'm sure there's other cases that need to be heard besides just yours.
Okay, I don't see what's going on in there. So how's decisions being made without we being able to consent to it?
Sir, you forfeited your right to be present in this courtroom by your conduct, and you have not requested to come back.
Actually, you took a break. So let's make sure the record is correct. You took a 10-minute break.
I did.
At which time
That damn
I was brought
hairline.
back into this courtroom.
I was advised you wanted to stay, sir.
Okay, and you've been forcing me to come over here from the get-go. Why couldn't you force me to come back over here where I'm supposed to be at?
Now, did that make sense? You've been forcing me to come over here from the get-go. Why couldn't you force me to come back over there? Well, you requested to stay. And I mean, the whole time she's been saying, if you want to come back to the original courtroom, you will have to request to come back over there. So why would she force you to come back over there when she has the power of the mute button for that room? Why would anybody force you to come back over? Now, I give it to her. She was being hella lenient, allowing him to even come back, because I'd have kept his black ass in that courtroom through the whole trial.
Sir, my understanding is you requested to stay in the other courtroom. I thought I put that on the record at the beginning. If I did not, I'll make that part of the record now. I was advised by the bailiffs that you were requesting to stay in that courtroom. I certainly advised you prior to that if there was a time you wanted to come back in, all you needed to do was ask. You've done that previously.
Yeah, salute to Zach.
And even during this time, though, you've been incredibly
even Zach wanted to beat his ass. Like when Zach was trying to talk and DB started talking, that nigga was like, I'm not finished. Like, he had that look on his face like, you know what I'm saying? Just take me back there in the holding cell with him for about 5 minutes. I bet you I'll beat his ass.
disruptive
And
during.
that's kind of why I think they set him where they set him. Put that man in between them.
And at one point, you were muted for an extended period of time, and you were yelling so loud, sir. We could hear you in this courtroom. I couldn't decipher what you were saying, and I was also made aware that another branch could hear you.
Yes, it was, Anthony.
Thank you for reminding me of that.
Thank you for reminding me of that. It was him saying that you can't force him to do anything. Now you saying why you couldn't just force me to come back over there? Like, this nigga run in so many circles, man, and contradict himself and step on his own toes. It's ridiculous.
Behavior.
That's fine, because at the end of the day, I should be heard. I have the First Amendment right to be heard. So if I'm going to be constantly muted, the only way for me to be heard is for me to raise my voice.
Mr. Brooks, one final time, do you have any requests as it relates to the jury instructions? Otherwise, I'm going to improve them. I'm going to take a break, and then we'll come back in the afternoon to go over verdict forms.
I didn't answer yes or no, so how do you consent to anything without me answering the question?
Are you going to answer the question, sir?
But you can't force me to do it, though.
There you go.
You can't just say, I'm going to do this. Because
Sir, but you also can't stall the proceedings by failing to answer.
I didn't try to start the proceedings. You the one that held me in contempt.
I never held you in contempt.
She never held him in
All
contempt.
right, I'm going to mute him once again because he...
And see, the reason why he keep bringing up contempt, you holding me in contempt, he wanted to be held in contempt to stall the process. And she didn't allow him to do that. So I'll give her that part. I'll give her a few other things too. The only thing I have a problem with Judge Dorow with is how lenient she was to let him run amok. Because there was nothing as far as litigation that she did that would allow for him to appeal the situation at hand anyway. Like I said, as long as she crossed them T's and dotted them I's, she was straight. So you can definitely shut him down because you have the authority to do so as the judge. The same way you shut people down in the audience that spoke their mind about him, like when dude said, rotten hell, you piece of shit. Oh, she got on his ass. You need to get out of here. So, I mean, it's my opinion. Yeah, I have a little problem with the leniency, but I mean, she did what she was supposed to do. They got the case taken care of and got him up out of here. So I'll give them that. That still doesn't change my opinion about how lenient she was with him. And if I'm not mistaken, if I'm reading the room right, a few times Attorney Opper, she did it respectfully. So a lot of people probably didn't catch it, but there was a few times she had to remind the judge of who she was and what she should and what she needed to do. Because I honestly think that Attorney Opper low-key got a little frustrated with the judge as well. And how she gave this man such a long rope and kept giving him rope through the whole thing for him to act an ass. So that's just my opinion. I know I'm probably going to get tore the fuck up in the comments again, like I always do. But I mean, it's all respected. Everybody's opinions are always allowed over here, whether you agree or disagree. Just no insults. Don't try to insult me and based off of how I think or how my opinion is, think that I don't have a woman or I'm against women or anything like that. When my whole household is full of women, daughters and a wife. I only got 2 boys. You feel what I'm saying? 4 daughters, 2 boys. My wife is upstairs right now. You know what I'm saying? So, no insults. Don't insult each other. Come in with your opinions. Have the conversations. Because as a content creator, I'll let you guys know this. Sometimes I may throw stuff out there that's not necessarily my opinion, but I'm the host. So I got to play devil's advocate. I got to put everything out there, and I got to give everybody room to speak on every piece of it. So sometimes I may throw some stuff out there that I don't necessarily believe, but I got to put it out there because the conversation's got to be had. I think people learn a lot through disagreement. If me and another person disagree and we come to the table and talk about it, whether we still have our same opinions or not, as long as we can get an understanding of each other's opinion, that only can help us both learn. So please, when you guys get in the comments after this video, if you watch this video all the way through, just please be respectful with your opinion. But all opinions are welcome, all of them, because I like to see what people really think about all of this. And I mean, I've even got a few attorneys that came in and was like, I've been attorney. Like 2 attorneys disagreed. Both of them said they had 30 years of experience, and I was waiting for that conversation to pick up because I wanted to hear what they was gonna talk about, because one attorney is agreeing one way and the other attorney's agreeing another way through my videos. You know what I'm saying? So I just like to see the conversation. And sorry if I haven't got to your comments. I'm trying to get through all the comments, through all the videos, but all of a sudden people just started commenting like crazy. So it's kind of hard to get through hundreds of comments and read each one. Because, I mean, people are leaving some long comments. People got shit to say. Even chewing me out. And I respect it. I respect it. Just don't think I'm a certain type of person or think that you can come and speak in matter of fact to tell me what I should be thinking. Just give your opinion. That's it. You know what I mean? I'll respond to your opinion. And if I see it, like a few people know in the comments that they seen that if I see how you're putting it down, if it makes sense to me, I'll let you know that. I'll let you know, man, I ain't think about it that way. Because I'm only thinking about it from me on the outside looking in. So everybody's opinion helps me see it other ways, helps me understand other ways. So let's just do it respectful. Anyway, man, y'all know what's up with me, man. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to the faculty, of course. And yeah, we'll be back with another video once I find something else to get into on this case. I'm definitely waiting for that whole Eligio Bishop case. I'm not sure if I'm gonna do any content on it, but if anybody want to check that out, I do know channels that report on that content still to today. So just let me know, man, and I'll direct you to these channels and stuff like that. Anyway, man, thank y'all for tuning in. If you guys want to support, somebody asked me for the Cash App. Well, my Cash App is posted at the bottom of the screen. It's not necessary, but if you would like to support, just you guys can always hit the Cash App. Other than that, I'm also not one of those YouTubers that think people are obligated to donate to me. Because truth be told, shit, I probably got like $30 in the last few years because I'm just not a Cash App. I'm not a donation type of channel. Like, you can donate if you want to support, but you do not have to. I have a job. I live in the real world. I live a real life. You know what I mean? And the reason why I'm coming at this case, the way I come at this case, is because before I was working, before I started being a career-minded civilian, I was also in them streets. I was also a gang member. I was also in prison for years, and I also fought my own case. So that's where I'm coming from. Anyway, like, comment, and subscribe. I love y'all, man. Thanks for tuning in. Peace.